we have changed our DNA and gone through full cycles. What might be next? You move into a state of graduation some have called planetary ascension. The Pleiadians who seeded us went through the same thing. The changes will occur, but the potential will not necessarily take place. There will come a day when the Earth will be everything you want it to be. From here on it gets better. Akashic inheritance, there is an old energy system and your Akashic record is in it. Children know things already, and instinctively the human being is coming into the planet knowing what they did not know in previous generations. The system itself is changing, and that is the secret to everything I am going to tell you. What is going to follow? There will be New Agers who will teach you that an ascended planet is going to have humans who can do out-of-the-body experiences and they all see colors, and there will be psychic, that is not going to happen. Although there will be numbers of them in that curve of old souls, ones who will come in as teachers. I am going to give you 3 pictures about variable survival instincts past, present and future to show the difference in humanity then and now. Go back 1,000 years and look at humanity in general. It comes in its survival mode as you still do, as the animals of the plain do, and in that mode what you did 1,000 years ago was vastly different to what you do now. It wasn't always like this, and if you go back 20,000 years, it was not that way. The growth of civilization and even your seed space brothers and sisters went through it, but who you are today is different. You come in today with survival instinct and it is the same as it was, but today the way you look at it is differently. What is appropriate or inappropriate has changed. Today you are not apt to war as easily. There is old energy mixed with new, and you know this. If you look back 1,000 years you would say that it is barbaric. Now I ask you, is it the same humanity? It is, and from that which was, to what is it that changed? You have reached a decision point, dear ones, right now on the planet. In the shift you are going through, you are about ready to receive permission to change yet again that which is in your DNA. And here is what the future will foretell within 2 generations, perhaps even 3, which is simply a very small amount of time for humanity. You are going to be human beings who have come into the planet where war is never an option because there is survival, and they will come in with this knowledge and instinct. That when we put things together and cooperate, we will survive. There will come a day when torture is not on this planet, where human rights are seen as that which is as common as you eating every day. Expecting, not demanding, not a political agenda but instinct. What is it that then changes? This is a planet that starts to morph itself into what we would then call an ascended status. What is ascending is consciousness. You are not going to turn into light. That might be later but not for a long time. Inventions will be accelerated so that you understand quantum energy, be able to measure it, see it in the human being. The revelations to come are enormous. More inventions than you have ever had in all human history is going to happen in the next 100 years. When you discover the attributes of multi-dimensional measurements in inventions, you will be able to change mass, design massless objects, travel, communication, all of the things that put humanity together, and finally even let you talk to those beyond, and all those above. All those stories and movies of the monsters that occur in flying ships will be gone, and you will realize that there aren't any, that they look like you, that so many are benevolent, and you see the compassion of God instead of destruction you have been told is out there, or might be out there. Get ready for this, dear ones. This is the evolved human being. You will solve the problems that today you look at as unsolvable, and we mention it, and this is the 3rd time. I will tell you that you will not have global crowding, and the reason is you will have 0 population growth. Those places on your planet you would call first world, many of them already have zero population growth, some have less than that, and this is going to be combined with longer life. You will say that isn't possible, for geometrically one begets another, and there will be too many people. Humans are smart and they know what is causing it. You have a choice, don't you, and instinctively you will choose to have the children or not, to have 2 instead of 3, and it will create a situation which nobody expects. Humans who will do this instinctively without rules, without mandates, without a government stepping in telling you when you can do and what you can't. Information given you about cities might change. Cities are created because you need to work in them together with factories, and that is how you get your electricity and your water. What if all 3 were not needed? What if there were ways of working from home from now on? What if electricity could be generated safely, easily and cleanly for 10 houses at a time? The same with water. What if utilities were a thing of the past and you did not need them? Welcome to a new age, and cities become less like cities. They will be where the factories are that make things, and a few will work there, but in general you will not have millions in one place. It will not be needed. You will start to spread out. I am talking about what will happen and the potentials because of where you are going and what you are doing, and this is just a few. These are the potentials we see, not in your generation, perhaps not in your children's, or their children's, but beyond, but you will see the beginnings of it, and it will start with invention, and when you see it you will know I am of light. You will get smarter when the DNA starts to develop. What is going to happen biologically? You are going to have brand new DNA. You will see the chemistry that is going to change. You are going to see it. No. You are not. The part that is going to change is that part that is quantum. The 90% or so that is seen as doing nothing, which does everything, is going to start shifting. There will be an activation in your DNA that is currently at less than 30%, a fully activated DNA in a human being at 90% or 100% creates a master who walks the planet, and you have had a number of them as fully functioning human beings, and you can do it. Take a look, and this is your future should you choose to work at it. That was their message. You can do it too. They had divinity inside and said we are a part of God, and so are you. As the DNA amps itself up and works at a more efficient basis, the biology starts to cooperate. You live longer, a lot longer, up to 3 times longer. Not only that, the elimination of disease by itself, because the body is able to fight it, where something called innate in your body talks to you on a regular basis intuitively, a self-diagnostic that is intuitive and is about time. Can you imagine what that might do to your medical industry? It is actually going to help them, because when you show up on their doorstep you will know what you need and they will be able to help you far better. And in your country USA, they are keeping people sick for money, and all that is going to fall over. Get ready for the demise as you know it. A big pharma, it is not going to continue. It cannot any more than tobacco did, for the same reason, any more than banks can continue doing what they did, for the reasons they did, and you took care of it and it hurts. It still hurts. You are recalibrating that which has integrity. One by one the blocks are falling over. Let this be an announcement to those who think they can continue doing this, to get out of the business while you can, for it is going to change. It has to, and there are those who said, Korean, when is it going to change? And I will tell you again, that spirit has no clock. These are potentials. They will change when they do, when they can no longer sustain an inappropriate energy, when there is light around them, they will fall quickly. These things will develop and have integrity eventually in a way that helps humanity, and we say blessed is the human being who goes into a medical situation and learns about the human body so they can help others. They will always be needed. It is always going to a combination of what you do with yourself, and what you do to help with the inventions that are here, and this is why they are given. Do not put them in a box and say I have one or the other, or call it spiritual, or say it is inappropriate to use these things that Spirit gave as inventions to humanity. Simply because you are in a box, it does not work that way. Use everything that is here to keep you alive. Dear ones, because the planet needs your light, could it be any clearer? All of the things given to you can be used appropriately in combination. Biology is going to change, life expectancy will become longer, and then there is a human being who says, I do not think I want to live that long. My goodness, I know what it feels like at 70 years, why would anyone live to 300 years? We would say to you, how 3D of you, would you like to feel 35 years old until you are 298 years old, and that is what is at hand. Dear ones, the body rejuvenates itself much better than it does now. Can you conceive of this, where the stem cell blueprints are picked up over and over, and you do not make a copy of a copy, you make the original over and over, last a long time, and you last fresh and young. This is what is possible. This is where it is eventually going in the potentials. Korean, you mean that is no, an absolute no. Humanity is a free choice, you can turn it around if you want to, but the steamroller is fired up and moving, it is hard to stop it. The ball of snow is rolling down the hill, it is hard then to make it smaller. Finally, there are those who are going to say, alright, how about the big one, what are we going to do about religion? There are those who would sit well with the mindset of what you would call metaphysicians or New Agers, who would say it is all going to have to go away, because they will realize the truth. No, it will not. Why should something go away that has the seeds of love of God for those he saw the Master in all his glory and wrote about him? Did they throw that away? One of the only human beings on the planet known to have met with an angel face to face in a cave and had dialogue and instructions, and became a prophet. Would you throw that away? No, let me tell you what is going to happen with that which is being developed in your DNA, which is the same thing that will keep humans from warring, and is also going to give them a different opinion as to how they should look at various belief systems on the planet. And they will continue to have those organizations under certain names that you even know now. But there will be big differences in what I will call as allowance of compassion. One will look at the other and see it is a branch of the same tree, coming from the same source, and they will respect one another. Just like you eat different foods for your different ways of worship, respect for the other, not anger, not war, and that is not what some of you expect either, and you are going to see the seeds of it. Sometime in your generation you may even see the seeds of it. It starts to appear as a gentleness between belief systems. Do you really think you are going to have a planet where all those thousands of years of reading will simply vanish? It is not practical, is it? No, instead expect them to morph into something that is cooperative, that is beautiful, and the differences are celebrated, instead of warring over them. And it is about time. This is the practical. The human being will change in attitude, in the conceptualness of what is correct and not correct, and what creates survival will be that which is compassionate. This is the new human being, this is the future. You are starting to turn the corner. I have just given you a snapshot of what can be and what we say will take place. There are two things you should celebrate. Some of you will have an Akashic remembrance, because firstly inheritance will start to surface, and you will come into the planet absolutely knowing that you have been here before, that even the religious that do not believe that, will see this, acknowledge it, and see it as a part of a grand system that fits into their belief system, that gives credibility to the divine in you, that is taught by all the religions. A monotheistic God is here on the planet, and that is the belief, and that is the first thing, and it should be part of it. And the second thing, dear ones, even for those of you who do not believe this, that the children of your children are going to see a better earth, not a worse one. I want you to know this, and that is worth celebrating. You sit in the cusp, you sit right where the seeds are being planted, not even harvested. Seed planters who may not see the harvest in their lifetime can now celebrate the harvest, which will be good. The love of God, that is why I am here, it is why the channelers are here. If you hear a message that is not like this, I want you to examine it carefully, because there are more of us giving you this one than the other. The chances are that if you hear those who would warn you of the upcoming doom, they have an agenda. Take a look, because it is not the potential that is actually there. Old energy dies hard. It may be more difficult to come because it's that way. My worker, old soul, do not fear the change you have brought. There are hundreds of lives that you have lived. It is about time that this occurs. Flow with it, understand and celebrate it daily, and thank God you are part of it, for it is the fruition of everything you have done, the very reason we are here. It is no wonder we wash your feet. Ponder these things, for they are the things you created, and so it is. Kriyan, the magnetic master,